I used to have several sites. Now I kind of like the grower's edge. It gives me that cash max. You can tell it which markets you're looking for, and it will tell you what your highest net back is based on the price they're paying at that time and the basis that they're paying. And that's pretty handy because I don't have to go to so many different sites.
Good afternoon and welcome to GrainTV. It's June 25th, 2013. To my left is Logan and I'm Brock Shimbino. We had another mixed trade in Chicago today. Let's turn over to Fire Tip to see how we ended. Corn for the old crop was up 3.5 cents. New crop down 2 cents. Soybeans on the old crop up 13 1/4. New crop up 5 cents. Wheat in Chicago down 3 1/4, and Kansas City was down 11 cents here today. You know, Logan, like I said, we did have a mixed trade here in Chicago. It seems like old crop soybeans was once again the leader of the upside.
Yeah.
I think that's having a lot to do with the anticipation of pretty tight stocks in Friday's USDA report.
Yeah, certainly. You know, let's kind of run down expectations for that report. As you said, on Friday we will be getting the quarterly grain stocks out. Take a look here. The column on the right side is the average analyst expectation for what the USDA reports for June 1st, 2013 grain stocks, and how that compares to the middle column here, what we saw June 1st, 2012. So, you know, as we expected following the drought of 2012, we're expecting quite a bit shorter grain stocks here on June 1 for corn and soybeans. In particular, though, I think the trade is going to be focused on the soybean number. As you said, Brock, old crop soybean stocks remain very tight. In the June WISE report, the USDA projected 125 million bushels of ending stocks for the 2012-13 crop. That only represents about 4% of usage. So I think that people are going to be keeping an eye on this quarterly grain stock number for soybeans in particular, because there's really not a lot of wiggle room. You know, corn stocks are tight right now, but not quite to the degree that we see in the soybean market. So bottom line here, the trade's expecting 442 million bushels reported in June 1st stocks for soybeans. That's the number to kind of keep an eye on there. Changing gears here on that day, additionally, we're going to be getting planted acreage as well from the USDA. As you can see here, very similarly, the right column is what the average analyst guesses for what the USDA will report for planted acreage on Friday. The middle column here is what they reported in their June WISE report. And as you can see for corn here, the trade is expecting on average for 2 million acres to be taken off the planted acreage number for corn, down to 95.31 million acres. Helping out soybean acreage in a little bit, that should be that lower corn number. And on average, the trade's looking for about 800,000 acres added to soybean acres there. Wheat expecting a slight decline there. I think, though, in terms of planted acreage, the corn number is really the one to look at. We know corn seeding was exceptionally slow this year, and we didn't see the USDA modify their planted acreage number at all in the June report. So certainly a revision is due here. Now the big question is, what magnitude of revision are we going to get? We have some big names in the private analyst circles looking for an acreage number that would even be below 94.5 million acres. I have to think if we get a number well below 95 million acres, that should support new crop corn futures here for at least a little bit till we know more about the condition of the crop.
You know, I think in today's trade we really kind of saw what you're looking at here for the analyst expectations.
Yeah.
Tight old crop stocks has really been propping up those old crop contracts.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
saw old crop corn, old crop soybeans up once again here today. And we saw the deferreds down in relation to what the old crop contracts were doing. We saw the December contract was actually negative. We saw the new crop soybean contract only up 5 cents compared to 13 on the old crop.
Yeah, you know, absolutely. If we think yesterday, kind of switching gears here a bit, so on Friday we are going to be getting grain stocks and we're going to be getting acreage, but you know, as I kind of said, obviously the condition of this crop is still a big question. Yesterday we saw the USDA raise their good to excellent rating on this corn and soybean crop to 65% for each one. And we got some interesting information out here recently from Planalytics in terms of greenness and kind of their take on the quality of this crop. I know, Brock, you dug into these numbers a little bit earlier today. What do you kind of find here?
Yeah, if we take a look at this late June greenness map, the most recent period that the Planalytics people actually examined, you can see here that there is pretty good increased greenness around the area circled in red. The area circled in red is the northern Iowa, southern Minnesota area. I believe this is an area that we're going to have to pay attention to as we move forward. We know that they've been saturated by rain over the last couple of weeks or so. We've seen a lot of late planting going on in these areas, so that's definitely an area we're going to have to pay attention to. Let's take a look at how this area compares to where we were in early June. You can see Like I said, there's increased greenness all around the red circle, but within that red circle we didn't see much by way of progress in the current crop that we're growing here. And let's compare this to last year. Last year at this time, you can see actually the brownness is compared to where we were last year at this time. Yeah. So we're seeing substantial amounts of decreased biomass in these areas, and I have to believe that's due to the incredibly early planting of last year's crop and the incredibly late planting of this year's crop, and then the progress of the crop that we have in the ground this year. So we are substantially behind where we were last year at this time on the greenness. And we take a look at some of the good to excellent ratings too, which is definitely affecting the overall greenness in these areas. Iowa corn right now, good to excellent, we're 14% below where we were last year at this time. Soybeans were 10% below on the good to excellent ratings where we were this time last year. Minnesota, 24% below on the corn good to excellent ratings where we were last year at this time, and soybeans were about 16% lower than we were last year at this time. So incredible decreases in the good to excellent ratings, and incredible decreases in the overall greenness of the vegetation. Yeah, certainly. Well, that could kind of be a developing story here to keep an eye on. Certainly, in general, 65% of the corn crop is rated good to excellent, but we could have some laggards there in northern Iowa, southern Minnesota. Certainly, that's an area of large production. We'll keep you posted on that story here moving forward. Kind of looking here toward the remainder of the week. Tomorrow we will be getting EIA ethanol numbers out. We've seen the ethanol crush margin back off a little bit in Iowa, but still expect a pretty strong ethanol production number out tomorrow. As we've known here over the last several weeks here, really strong basis out of ethanol facilities has kind of propped up that old crop corn future there. Thursday we will be getting the export sales report, and then as we said on Friday we'll be getting quarterly grain stocks and planted acreage out at 11 o'clock Central Time. We'll keep you posted on all those reports here moving through the week on GrainTV. One last thing, we still have our promotion going through June 28th. If you open up a new Grain Hedge account before then, we'll give you 4 free trades and refund the cost of your wire, so give us a call if you're interested for that. Our number here is 877-472-4607, or you can visit us online at www.grainhedge.com. In general, I think that's kind of what we saw here for Tuesday, Brock. Thanks a lot for joining us on GrainTV. We'll see you tomorrow.